Hey everybody, hi. How are you today? It is Diana from Wild Rose, and welcome to my living room. Uh, I'm filming here today because my studio AC unit just died. So there's no AC up there. It's really, really hot still, and I just don't like the heat. So we're here in my living room, but that's okay. I have a comfortable living room, lots of owls all around, and plants and everything else, so it's happy. So today is still International Crochet Day. I'm a little late, but it's not quite midnight back in the States, so I guess I'm still making this in. So I figured for International Crochet Day, I would start with showing you what I'm working on currently, and also a few fun crochet facts, and an announcement about the next big giveaway. So a while back, I showed you that I had started a king size blanket for the bed. This is my third one. And every time I make these, I always say, I'm never doing it again, never doing it again. Um, are there anybody out there besides myself that actually has done more than one of these, like on purpose? Because I love it, but I hate it. And usually about this way in, and let me just finish this row. I get to the point where I'm like, oh, just finish up already. Um, I mean, I'm going slow now because I'm trying to focus on this and talking. Pretty quick crocheter, I guess, from what I consider, and I'm using my prim hook. So these are prim hooks. This one's a 5mm. This is my Hobby Lobby yarn stash buster blanket. And what I've done with this here is basically just alternating, sorry, I have colleges, alternating between a double crochet and an alpine stitch. And it gives it a nice bit of texture here. And I'm just using whatever I have left for my Hobby Lobby yarns. So it's big, it's heavy. And what I have for yarn is I just have a whole bunch of this Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek. It's this the low pill acrylic fiber. It's 186 yards. It's a worsted weight. They call for a 6mm hook. I'm using a 5 because I just want a tighter stitch, and it's my blanket. But I am using my trusty favorite Lucky crochet project bag. Now, it breaks my heart because the person I bought this from, their shop I bought this from, is no longer on Etsy. I can't find them, and I love it. It's reversible, and I even added a little fox keychain from reclaimed fur, not like reclaimed things. Like they reclaim fur and make little things out of fur, so it's not just thrown away and just the animal poor animal dies in vain. So I guess kind of gives life back to it by making a little creature out of it. So my little foxy, because foxes are lucky. Anyways, this is hot, but I wanted to just share some really cool crochet things. There's little historical facts for Crochet Day. So fact number one, I do have notes, and I kind of went all over and picked like a fact from here, a fact from there, and fact from here, and fact from there, and so on. Back during the Irish famine of 1845 to 1850, also known as the Irish potato famine. Sorry, there's a little echo in my ear. Throws me off a little with my stuff. But basically, it became a source of income for a lot of families during this really hard time. And a really cool fact on top of that one is that Queen Victoria at the time commissioned some of this work from these women who were doing this. And even Queen Victoria herself started to crochet and even made crocheted items for people she knew. So, I mean, if crochet is fit enough for Queen Victoria, And we all know that Queen Victoria started Torchwood, right? So it's got to be good for us, everybody. Anyways, yes, and that is a fact. Queen Victoria started Torchwood. You cannot fight me on this one. I won't do it. I won't let you. Okay? That's it. All hail Captain Jack Harkness. Anyways, another cool fact about crochet is during World War II, a lot of people, women mostly, probably majority back in those days, all across the UK, US, and Canada, and I'm sure other places, would crochet goods for troops abroad fighting in the war as a way of just sending kind of like support from the home front, you know, gloves, hats, scarves, things like that, which is really cool. It was part of the war effort. My grandfather and my uncles were all in World War II, and my grandmother, my meme, and her sisters were munitions girls in Waterbury, Connecticut, which is the brass city, which was one of the huge suppliers of ammunition during World War II. Ken Burns actually has a really cool documentary about that, and they feature Waterbury, where I was born, Waterbury, Connecticut. So, cool stuff there. Also, another cool thing is that crochet is still largely a hand-produced craft. You'll see knitting machines and mass-produced knitting and everything else, but there's not a whole lot of crochet machines. I've never seen one. If you know of one that exists, please share it with me, because I'd love to see that. I'd probably buy it, actually, not even lying. I do enjoy the loom knitting. I don't do the knitting machines where you just pop it on there and just crank it out. I don't know. To me, that just seems a little like cheating. I don't know. That's just me. If you do that, that's great. I do the loom knitting, which I know is also kind of cheating. But for me, it's my hand movements. I like the hand. It gives me something to focus on. So I do like that crochet really is a handcraft item or art, where we're still grabbing our hooks and we're doing everything. And that leads me into the next really cool fact about crochet. It is amazing for your mental health. They've shown that crocheting and knitting also can help reduce the risk. Sorry, it's the echo. Can help reduce the risk of Alzheimer's and dementia in people by 30 to 50%. So it's keeping all that sharp, all that going, and it really does help. It also helps for people who have situations or issues. I was diagnosed young with ADHD, which back in the day was just you were slapped on Ritalin or Adderall or something and just shoved off. When I was a little kid, I was labeled as the bad kid in class. I got in trouble a lot, got mouthy a lot, had very poor impulse control. And then when I got older and I was seeing another psychiatrist who went through just a bunch of different therapies and everything else, and I was formally diagnosed with what would then be high-functioning Asperger's. It's just known as ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder, and it's it crossovers with the ADHD symptoms. And what isn't known about it is that back in the day, a lot of women would be misdiagnosed with just ADHD or something and not really truly recognized for what is really going on, which probably would have kept me from getting kicked out of a few schools as a kid. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So it's great for your mental health. I know that when I'm having a hard day or a tough day, it does help to sit here and just work on something. And yes, when I was going through my surgery and stuff, I kind of didn't pick anything up. But I forced myself. I'm glad I got back into my art here. I do want to grab, here we go. And all the stuff you see around here, yeah, this is all mine. So I do actually have things. I even made this cool basket, like a yarn. I took my dish yarn, my cotton dish yarn, and I did like 4 balls at one time, like 4 strands. And I just threw one of these together. It didn't take long. You can probably sit there from morning till night and make a basket. It's harder on my hands a little bit, the cotton yarn, but I wanted to show you some really cool hooks. And this is the hook. Oops. No. Do not get hooked in that. This is the hook, my Brittany hook, that I used for this basket. That's why it was shoved in there. So and it holds all my scrap yarns and other things that I'm doing. The cool thing about this is if you look historically through hooks, crochet hooks throughout the ages, first crochet hooks really were made from like animal bone or like wire or brass, pieces of metal that could be bent over. And some of the bone ones actually looked kind of like this. Some of those bone hooks could get very intricate, and I don't have any. I've never bought a bone hook. I don't know if I'd be hesitant to. I mean, if it was something from like a deer where I knew the meat was being eaten and the animals being used or things like that, I might do that. You'll never see me buying ivory, never. And I know with some black markets and things like that, you can still buy ivory, which is terrible, absolutely horrible. But one of the things I did buy that I want to share with you, I purchased these on Etsy, and this is only 4 of them. I have a whole bunch in my crochet hook organizer, which is actually an old Chinese medicine cabinet. So you open the doors. It's probably it's old. It's probably at least 100 years old. And you can pull the drawers out and store little medicines in there, but I store hooks in there, and I can organize all my hooks by size. So it's nice. But I remember one of my giveaways, it was a question regarding shepherd's knitting, which is one of the earliest forms of crochet. And I forgot that I had bought these, and I have a whole bunch, and I've used them. I've actually used them. I've made a couple scarves and some fingerless gloves with these. But this is similar to the hook that would have been used for that type of crochet. So these are flat hooks, and you can see that they're completely flat. And look at that. See if you can see the head there. So this is similar to the type of hook that would have been used for shepherd's knitting. And these are basically only for slip stitching and a single crochet stitch. It was really used to replicate garments that would have been knit or things like that. And a lot of people kind of said, well, garments made from crochet knitting, I'm sorry, not crochet knitting, shepherd's knitting, were still slightly inferior to actual knit garments or needled garments that were embroidered and used thread and stuff. But I think they're really cool, and there's a whole history behind these. I'm not going to go into in the video here because it would be like an hour-long video. But if you ever wanted to Google flat hooks for shepherd's knitting, it's a really cool history. But yeah, so I picked a bunch of these up, and I think I had 3 sets. 3 sets I got, and there's different woods that they make them with. And I have the link here. I'm going to share the link in the description box below as well for you. So if you want to check out their store on Etsy, it's really pretty cool. So yeah, I've actually used these type of hooks, and it's neat. It's a weird feeling. I wouldn't use them for hours and hours and hours and hours on end, like days and days. It probably would, I don't know if it really bother my hand, just because I hold weird. See, I would naturally grab this like this, where that tip sticks out between my two fingers, and that's how I crochet. When I crochet with this, I tend to hold my hook down lower, and you see that little tail sticking out. So I've always held that way, and I don't know why. It's comfortable for me and it works. But yeah, so I'll put their store link down below, but I figured for Crochet Day, this would be a cool thing to show you. So yeah, really cool. Also, I wanted to just make this a really short video to say hello to everybody. I do have another giveaway coming up. So it's going to be announced, or it's going to be loaded up on YouTube on the channel, probably September 21st, 22nd. It's going to be my very first autumnal equinox, or Mabon, depending on who you are, giveaway that I'd like to keep doing. I do want to try to make special giveaways for all the harvest holidays. I think that's really cool to do. But yeah, so that one's going to be announced September 21st or 22nd. And for this giveaway, we may very well have another person sponsoring something very cool from their shop for this giveaway. So if you want to join in that giveaway in September, or it is September, so the upcoming next week, I think it is, please subscribe, like, share. I really appreciate all you guys. I appreciate the subscribes and the sharing and everything else. It helps my channel grow, and I really want to grow this. And the giveaways, I try to make them as decent as I can. You know, I try to add yarn and crochet notions, some things from like Japan, because, you know, I did blend the two channels now. And at any time, if you want to come on the channel and you really just don't want to see the Japanese stuff, you can always go, everything's in playlists. So you can see the crochet playlist, the hook reviews, all kinds of playlists, so that I'll have everything broken down into. So, you know, it's easier for me to focus on one channel than two. So that's what I'm doing. So stay tuned for that announcement. Again, it's going to be posted up on YouTube probably September 21st or 22nd. And I will give you all the details for the giveaway on that day. So stay tuned. And again, happy International Crochet Day. And until the next time, keep hooking.